let me do it. Jump inside. All of you who have not used the opportunity to share the video as yet, obviously you all are first timers because you know the first song is to share the video. So, I mean, I know nobody was expecting me at 8:45 on a Saturday night. But I just felt like having a conversation that we were having today that I didn't get to finish, so I want to finish it now. And that conversation goes like this. There is nobody in this country that could explain to everybody in this country why this country is so badly broken. Nobody. There is nobody in this country who could explain to everybody in this country why this country might be so badly broken. Let's talk about it. You have a government, you have an opposition. You have a lot of media, talking heads, people who consider themselves thought leaders in society, yet none of them talking about the issues that matter most to you. Why you would be catching your ass in the third wealthiest nation in the Western world? Why would you be catching your ass? Why would life be so hard? Why would everything be broken? Why would it be that the entire public sector is broken? Why would our oil company need to be shut down and split apart, ripped open, fire everybody, thief out all the money? Why would that have to happen? Why would we have had to shut down Caroni Limited? Why? Why did that have to happen? I'll tell you why. Because you've been voting, and this is not your fault, because your choice was cake or death. There's a joke, cake or death. You ever heard that? I'll play that for you so you understand what cake or death is. Sarcasm of the highest order. This is your choices. All of the time that you were voting cake or death. And what that means is you had a Sophie's choice. Let me see if I get this here.
Yes, so this is all true. And so we had Empire.
Right, the internet is playing the
We had empires. Everyone had France and Spain and Britain and Turkey, the Ottoman Empire, full of furniture for some reason. And the Austrian...
I want to find the short version, cake or death. Yes, this is it.
But you can't do that in Church of England. You can't say, you must have tea and cake with the vicar or you die. You can't have extreme points of view. You know, the Spanish Inquisition wouldn't have worked with Church of England. Talk, will you talk? But it hurts. Well, loosen it up a bit, will you? Because that's what it would be. Tea and cake or death. Tea and cake or death. Tea and cake or death. Students with beer. Tea and cake or death. Tea and cake or death. Little red cookbook. Little red cookbook. You know, because cake or death, that's a pretty easy question. Anyone can answer that. Cake or death? Cake, please. Very well. Give him cake. Oh, thanks very much. Very nice. You, cake or death? Cake for me too, please. Very well. Give him cake too. We're going to run out of cake at this rate. You, cake or death? Death, please. No, cake, sorry. You said death first? Death first. No, I meant cake. Oh, all right. You're lucky I'm Church of England. Cake or death? Cake, please. Well, we're out of cake. We only had 3 bits and we didn't expect such a rush. So what do you want? Well, so my choice is or death.
And that is Trinidad and Tobago. There was a movie where The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson was in the movie, and he said in the movie, I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum. So that means he was there just to kick ass. Cake or death, that's sketch by Eddie Izzard. He's a brilliant British comic. If you like that kind of comedy, check out Eddie Izzard. But what he's trying to say is that there will come a time when your choice will be just a Sophie's choice, nothing at all. And to the voters of Trinidad and Tobago, who've only had a PNM and a UNC and a PNM and a UNC to choose from, you have no choice but to justify your choice. And you have to find a way to say why I am choosing one of two broken and corrupt parties. You can't say that. You can't say that. That's hard to say. So you have to come up with a justification, a rationalization. Even if you're going to kill yourself, you have to have a reason. It demands that you have a reason. Choosing the UNC and voting for the UNC after Basdeo Pandey and his marauding band led by Brian Quaitong, Ish Galbaran Singh, Steve Ferguson and the rest marauded Trinidad and Tobago after Basdeo Pandey to vote for a UNC, and Kamala Persad Bissessar was no fool. She was surrounded by people who told her the only way you're going to get votes is you have to disguise the UNC. So we will bring in some jokers. Let's bring in NJAC, no value. MSJ, no value. COP, no value. TOP, no value. But if you bring them in, we could say it's a coalition and we'll hide in plain sight. When I was growing up, my father said he wanted to plant a marijuana hedge in the front of the house, trim it and maintain it properly, because it was his view that the police would pass and say, that looked like marijuana, but it can't be marijuana because he can't be so mad. And that's what the UNC did. And that's what the UNC did. And for people who voted for Rowley, watch Colm Imbert in his face and vote for that son of a bitch, knowing everything that you know about Colm Imbert. None of it is a lie. None of it is a lie. Because Colm Imbert has not been prosecuted and jailed for some of the things that he's done while as a minister and a member of parliament, doesn't mean that he is a good man. Because Keith Rowley got away with Landate, the whole nation know that he did wrong. He is not a good man. Keith Rowley is not a good man. When Michael Kwamina sits next to Keith Rowley, Michael Kwamina knows he's a hired gun. His job is to sell shit and call it sugar. That's Michael Kwamina's job. But you have had to, as voters, you have been reduced to having to justify. I keep telling you all, when you rationalize, Wayne Dyer taught me this. When you rationalize, you have to tell yourself rational lies. And it takes a rational lie to yourself to say, we ready, stick your finger, vote it here, body's here. Why? We care about you. Great is the PNM and it shall prevail, and all this bullshit, you're parroting that. Because you can't have a conversation. You can't have a real rational conversation. It is why all of the arguments on Facebook and social media get reduced to personalities. They all become responses ad hominem. Ad hominem. Target the person. The argument could never be, if you ask the average person who comes on a PEP thread and the PEP is talking to you about lowering the price of food, the fact that you've chosen the PNM or the UNC and you've declared yourself for the PNM or the UNC means that you have to defend that decision. And here is this party that is telling you that the price of food could come down. But you can't allow that to pass. So you have to attack the party, attack its leader, defend yours. Say, don't take them on, everybody does thief. That's the reason for saying that. You see, we like it so and we jamming still. That is because people cannot defend their political choice. It is hard to look at the criminals in the PNM. Tonight I stood behind the Minister of National Security, the Minister of Communication, the Minister of Public Development and Administration, the PRO of the PNM. That sounded like a long line of people, but it was all Stuart Young, one man. And I want to know if A, he is drawing 4 salaries, or B, serving 4 masters, because both are wrong. But that is a conversation for the PNM. The truth of the matter is, you as a voter should never have had to defend your choice other than saying they have delivered and they can deliver. And they can deliver based on a track record. And when the Progressive Empowerment Party stands up, it stands up on a history of deliverables while never holding office. Never holding office. Solving the Diego Martin traffic that used to have people from the West, whether you live Pity Valley, Diego Martin, Westmoreland, Bayshore, Goodwood Park, every evening from 4 o'clock till about 6:30, the traffic to get into the West used to back up all the way to Movietown. And I solved it because I said we could bypass it. And I literally designed the bypass. And all of the people, the Director of Highways, Roger Ganesh, the engineer, Roger Israel, the Permanent Secretary, the then Minister of Works, Jack Warner, all of them came and they looked at the design and they said, yes, this will work. Let's do this. And since then, there has never been, unless something happens like an accident or they close the road, the traffic don't get further than about 100 meters from the traffic light. It used to be so bad that people used to have to drive through every side street in St. James and Woodbrook. It made life hell for everybody because some monkey, and I don't want to say Keith Rowley, but he and Ken Valley, Darrell Smith, Amory Brown, all the versions of Diego Martin Central and Colm Imbert had unbroken representation in those constituencies and gave not one shit about you because you don't matter. They have blue lights. And that is why we say, take away the blue lights. Take away the blue lights completely, but that's another conversation because you see, if Keith Rowley had to sit in traffic, traffic will get solved. Whoever is the Prime Minister. But you've allowed them to con you into believing that they're entitled to better. You are the one that's entitled to better. Right now, we have, somebody said to me, the yard boy has decided that the lawn can't cut, so he's selling your land. And that's what's going on. Keith Rowley is the yard boy that we hire for this time, and he cannot do the job, so he's selling the land. What is happening at Petrotrin is going to be theft, more theft and only theft. The PNM is never, PNM prime ministers are never as motivated as Keith Rowley is if it's not crookedness. I can tell you tonight, even if no public official prosecutes that stunting son of a bitch for AV oil, he know he guilty. He know, just like Kamala know. I was there when Rodney Charles, Member of Parliament for Naparima, was given the responsibility to communicate the United National Congress under Jerry Hadid, who was the then Minister of Communication. And I was there when they came up with the narrative, they have some thieves in the UNC, but Kamala didn't know. That's to fool you. Kamala absolutely knew everything. Nothing went on in that party that Kamala didn't know. And I'm not saying this to attack these personalities. I could give 3 shits about Kamala and Keith. 2 shit snakes. We're in the shit snake business. We've never had a real political organization set up to run this country because it doesn't require all of these people. I am telling you, you don't need more than 13 ministers, you know. If so much. If so much. It's like I tell you, you don't need more than 5 ambassadors, high commissioners. Europe, Africa, the Americas, Asia, United Nations. That's it. 5. Barely need them, but you could use them to go and clink glasses and bring greetings and open stuff and maybe send a message here, there, and everywhere. You don't need all the ones that we have now. But you see, if I tell you, you who are rationalizing between the PNM and the UNC. UNC know that the PNM has gotten away with robbing you. Chandra Sharma knew that Faris Al-Rawi robbed the nation with One Alexandra Place. So when Chandra Sharma became the minister responsible, he could have prosecuted Faris Al-Rawi. But instead of doing that, he used One Alexandra Place to rob the nation too. And that's the point. That no matter what you tell yourself about anybody else on the outside, they can't do worse. The country is going down, down, down. Let's talk about that. Education don't work, healthcare don't work, we don't grow no food, the police service don't work, the courts in a mess, public service in an absolute mess. There is nothing like a legislative agenda. Nobody knows what's going on in the country. Everything is broken. Nothing works. Nothing works in Trinidad and Tobago but the record. Nothing works. So it can't get worse. You cannot get worse. You've shut down Caroni, you're shutting down Petrotrin. It can't get worse. You've broken the backs of the people in Tobago and you're going to shove them into a machine where they are slaves to a white man, Sanders. And yeah, I said that. Keith Rowley is that black man come to take all of them down the road, what they used to call the point of no return. You know you're walking to that slave ship. That's what the PNM is doing in Tobago. Enslaving everybody. You don't need to want to hear it. You don't have to hear it. Set yourself on fire. I could care less. I could care less. There is an entire political party that has set themselves up to be the opposite of the PEP. And their whole job is to draw you close, hug you, and give you warm words and a kiss. And that is nice. That is nice. But if you're not building on fire, a close embrace, a hug and a kiss, it's not going to save your life. This country needs straight talk. My videos are the equivalent of a slap across your face. I need you to wake up. I don't care if you get vexed with me, you know. You could bad talk me till your navel string bust. I don't care. But you have to, at some point, even if it is in the silence of your soul, you have to face the reality that the banks in Trinidad and Tobago are plundering small people. People talk to me, Mr. Philip. Mr. Philip, I leave $200 in the bank, Mr. Philip, and I come back and it's gone. And they tell me about charges and rates. And you know what they're doing you? They get in your bank account to the point where you're under the limit, and then they charge you a $50 fee and put you further under the limit and charge you an next $50 fee again. And doing people wickedness. These bankers need to be, listen. What's going on with the banks in Trinidad and Tobago is insanity. Absolute insanity. But they're running amok. They're running amok because you have no choice. You have no choice. Ask a farmer what food costs. A farmer could tell you what food costs. A breadfruit don't have to cost $20. Every time there is a glut on the market, what that means is plenty there, the price comes down to $5. A breadfruit don't have to be $20. A breadfruit could be $5. And we could grow enough food in this country to feed all of our people breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We could do that. We could grow all the food that we need in Trinidad and Tobago. We could grow all of it and feed our people. All of you who need to buy fancy grapes and plums and apples, import that shit. I'm not telling you no. But everything shouldn't be imported. And Clarence Rambarat is a criminal. Because Clarence Rambarat proved to me that he is an educated man. He is a lawyer, was a columnist, and I know Clarence Rambarat. And I expected from Clarence Rambarat what I got from Michael Phillips. Michael Phillips in the Sport TT told Daryl Smith, bro, this is what I signed up for. My good name, more important than PNM bullshit. And he resigned. I expected that from Clarence Rambarat. I expect to hear in the cabinet Clarence Rambarat say, listen, I am the freaking Minister of Agriculture. Either give me the ability to grow food for this nation or I resign. Because if we grow food, HADCO, AMCO, and Massey will, if not go out of business, will lose the amount of business they're benefiting from now. And they don't care about you. Their job is to put donations in political parties, read PNM and UNC hand, so that they grow no food. If there is no food growing, you have to go to HADCO and pay Haddad price. You have to go to Massey. You have to go to AMCO and pay SAMGA price. When the people who control, when the people don't have food control, the people who control your food control you. The people who control your food control you. In quick time, 5 years or less, the food import bill of this country could go down steeply. Now, I know there are plenty of people who are trying to contact me. They want to meet with me. They want to reach out to me and get involved with what we do. And listen, we meet every Saturday. I have a management meeting every Tuesday. I live this political party thing. If you want to meet with me, fit yourself in that schedule, because I cannot continue to move at the rate I'm going. I go there, just walking. For a country that don't seem to understand that we need to think ourselves through it. We need to think ourselves through it. And in a conversation with somebody, in 45 seconds, I told them what you need to do to fix this country, to turn everything around. The things that are important, you make lists. You make lists of what's important. Stop the bullshit. Stop the old talk. Turn off the nonsense. Ask everybody in government, why does the public health sector fail in Trinidad? Clarence Rambarat said that they don't know how to stop the illegal hunting. I told Clarence Rambarat, this country could fit in Florida 1,000,000 times. They control illegal hunting in Florida. Why can't we do it here? Why? Why can't we do it here? And all of the people who are on my wall right now who talking about bad talk PNM and bad talk UNC, stop that bullshit. Bad talk yourself. Whether you vote for them or you don't vote at all, take responsibility. Because until we own it, until we own the condition of this country, until we recognize that it is the voters, either by our direct action or by our direct inaction, we have made it so. And until we own it, we cannot fix it. Until we say politics is the reason the food price so high. Politics is the reason the value of our money is so low. Ask any economist, and I'm telling you something, they have a sprinkling of bullshit artists. Since they had Gate, a bunch of little Dukarans and Sukarans come out of UE with more degrees than a thermometer, but no common sense. Because I'm asking to explain in simple language, and Einstein, arguably the greatest mind that ever lived, Einstein said, if you cannot explain it simply, you do not understand it. You do not understand it. If you cannot explain it simply, you do not understand it. Explain to the people in simple language why our dollar would be 1/7 of a US dollar when 8 hours of work in Trinidad is the same as 8 hours of work in America. 8 hours digging hole here, 8 hours digging hole there is the same 8 hours, is the same labor. Same thing. To make a box, to grow some chickens, to grow some potatoes, to make a KFC, same thing. Don't be misled. The disparity in our prices is ridiculous, and nobody could explain why our dollar would be 1/7. It could only be that it is benefiting somebody. When I told Trinidad and Tobago, the Bankers Association are angry that I've put this information out there. But it's already probably too late, because you all are just taken that the banks are not supposed to be allowed to have a 13% tax on the money. Everything that you consume is imported in this country. Every single thing is imported, even the wrapper. So even if they make it local, the ingredients imported. And when the banks buy all the US at 601 and sell all the US at 677, that is a 13% artificial, arbitrary, additional markup and tax that is going on to everything that you buy, raising the prices. A house, I explained this last night to somebody. When you buy a house for $1 million, $500,000 is interest and bank charges. A house that is $1 million, at the end of 20 years, you would have paid $2 million. You could do housing in this country for $500,000. If you take off all of those bank charges, the price of the house is $500,000. If the state removed the stamp duty and the VAT and all the other taxes on basic building material and kept the price down, because as much as SABGA think he controls the construction industry in Trinidad, a proper government would tell SABGA world prices is for clay blocks, for concrete blocks, for nails, for steel by the pound. And if you can't supply at that price, I will bring it from Brazil. I'll bring it from Brazil, and I don't care if it drives you out of business. I don't want to hear your cost of doing business. This is something essential to the management of our country, home ownership. Home ownership. And if you take the taxes and the VAT and the stamp duty out of a house that is $500,000, you would reduce the price of that house, I kid you not, to $200,000. $200,000 for that house. If you were to offer first-time homeowners up to $1.5 million, zero deposit, zero interest for 30 years, it would reduce the mortgage payment per $100,000 to $500. To $500. Less, $477, but I say $500 per $100,000. Normal bank lending criteria. If the price of a house, you could put houses on the market for $200,000 devoid of tax, stamp duty and VAT. It is a proper 1,300 square foot, 2-3 bedroom house. Proper house. Start a home. You could put that on the market, $200,000 home. I want you to understand something. A baton twirler working for Mikey Aboud in Amalgamated Security, or working for Christian Mute in a floor mopper in KFC and Christian Mute KFC Empire, earning $2,250 a month as a minimum wage, would be able to set aside $1,000 a month to pay their mortgage. Husband and wife earning $2,250 each is $4,500, and $4,500 contributing $1,000 towards the mortgage leaves $3,000. And I want to tell you $3,500. And I want to tell you something. You could live on that. You could live on that, especially in a country that is working to bring the price of food down and price control what we grow. We will price control. We will set the targets. We will, using all the land that exists in this country, we would create farms, micro farms, 1-acre farms, and put farmers to farm growing food. That we will dictate what grows where based on a consumption. How much baigan, how much avocado, how much breadfruit, how much sweet potato, how much cassava this nation could consume. So that you manage those prices, you put the farmers to work, you agree, or you're giving them land use. Do not call me about land title. I do not want to hear about that. We're giving you land to use, to grow, to make a profit. That's the purpose of farmland. Because they have too many pseudo farmers that get in 100 acres under the PNM and 100 acres under the UNC and turning them into housing projects and gas stations and strip malls. A PEP government will come and undo all of that. Yes, I know you have lawyers that just drink with in area and trotters. Bring them the man. Everybody will be busy. Everybody will be busy. But we will find the corruption. We will find the point at which you got a change of use for farmland and then jail your ass. And those who gave you the change of use for farmland to make it commercial or residential. So I know how to play the game. So you think you're going to come at us that way, we're going to be waiting. What Trinidad needs to understand is food independence is critical. If you say that a farmer is being given the land to grow food on and that you provide them with security, listen, pray their larceny, they tell you the people don't want to grow because of pray their larceny. The police service in the Ministry of Agriculture is the second largest precepted organization in this country. If they wanted to police and protect farms in this country, all you had to do was catch and jail 2 farm thieves and all man done. You see, all Trinidad need to know is man getting jailed for iguana. And iguana could run across a hunter foot and he will say, excuse me, Mr. Iguana. Because Trinidadian afraid jail, and they afraid fine, and they afraid police. All the bad talk, they just want a bad talk. And all the gangster talk, they want a gangster talk. We could fix this country. We could operate this country properly. We could reduce the price of food so nobody have to tell me they have to go into the forest and skin every manikou they find. We could reduce the price of food. If you reduce the price of food and you reduce the cost of homes, all of a sudden it starts to make sense because families will be able to stay home. And when I mean stay home, they'll be able to, you wouldn't have to have 2 and 3 jobs trying to pay the landlord. You wouldn't. You'll be paying mortgage. So after you shuffle off this mortal coil, you're leaving some equity in something for your offspring. The science says in nations where home ownership is high, crime is low. In nations where home ownership is high, crime is low. So the $7 and the $9 billion we give in the Ministry of National Security, we could put towards loan guarantee. We don't need 10,000 police. You don't need that. The fellows who did the execution in St. James, police will tell you, they sit down and follow them on the camera all the way home and went home by them and arrest them. And that's all you need to do. Put systems in place to properly run the country. Put systems in place to properly run the country. When they bombed the Boston Marathon, 48 hours of a police action that ended with 1 man dead and the next man in custody. Trinidad would fit in Boston about 10 times. We have to decide by our vote the kind of country we want. I said last night, and to the people who vex, I hear they have a Fatima College WhatsApp thread that vex that I said Fatima College shouldn't be Prestige and Mucurapo across the road be a failed school. And they fail to understand that your children is going to a school where across the road, the future people to rob them grow into. If you don't make it so that everybody have the same chance at a good life, some will prosper and some will prey on those who prosper. True talk. Because the people who committing crime in this country at the low level didn't wake up and say, I'm dotish, I'm stupid, I have options, but I want crime. And they'll tell you, them fellas busting down work and making 5,000 a day. Yes, that is true. Because we have a corrupt and a rogue police service. And that we have a nation where drugs flowing through here like water. But secure the borders and stop the flow of guns and drugs, and that $5,000 a day option dry up like snow cone in the midday sun. If I say call it 5 cent shave ice. All of these things, every excuse that they give you could fix. The reason Mucurapo Junior Secondary fails and Fatima College succeeds is because our education system takes the brightest and puts them in one type of school and takes the slowest for whatever reason they're slow. Because people are not slow because they're stupid. You take the average little black boy out of Mucurapo and drop them in Fatima and they will succeed too. And you take the average little white boy out of Fatima and drop them in Mucurapo, and by the end of the 5 years, they're making porn videos, smoking ganja, and fighting in the road like gangster. Tattoo all up on their eyeball. Because people become what you acclimatize them to. So why don't we twin Mucurapo and Fatima just as an experiment? Just as an experiment. Twin those 2 schools and make sure that the people in Mucurapo get the same high standards that the people in Fatima get, and kiss my ass with the Concordat. It is time to undo how we do education in Trinidad and Tobago. We need to level that play field, raise the standard to the highest, assign a GPA to every child, so at the end of the term, you will know which teachers teaching and which teachers stunting there for a paycheck, and you will redirect them to another industry. Teaching is sacrosanct. It is second only to farming. Food growing and teaching are the two most important professions in any nation. And if you don't realize how important food production is, everybody else could strike and go out of business. When that happened to the farmer, the whole society collapsed. Food production, job one. Make education functional, job two. Make it possible that there be more jobs in the society, proper paying jobs, than people who need jobs, job three. Once you have a job, it should be possible and easy for you to qualify to own a home. That is how you fix the nation. Secure the borders so the police don't have to chase their tail. Secure the borders. If you secure the borders of Trinidad and Tobago, we don't need police driving around with 9 regiments and all of them armed to the teeth like an arms race in a dot in the ocean that the tail end of a tsunami would wipe out for good. Trinidad and Tobago is literally a blow-by for a hurricane. The hurricane that just hit Florida, if it had hit Trinidad, there'd be nothing standing. Nothing at all. We cannot continue to excuse the mismanagement that leaves you and your family tonight undereducated, underrepresented, hungry, frustrated, frightened, at risk. How is it possible that anybody in this country could expect and accept that? Anybody. How could you? How could you? The banks have been turned upside down and inside out. They're used by a criminal 1%. So only Rituals and Pizza Boys could open 126 stores in 10 years. But other equally or better products and quality products can't get a loan, can't get an overdraft to stay in business. Can't. In a real country where Mario Sabga Abood could have get money to open 126 bullshit Rituals, Donut Boys, Pizza Boys, bullshit fair, selling crap, poisoning people. In that country, there would have been bankers that excited to go and find the Sajuddin family in Santa Cruz and give them finance to open 2-3 branches of Roti Cafe. There would have been bankers in this country that if Kiss Baking Company that's selling bread that ants don't want to bite, if you taste what comes out of Bakery Treats and the other small bakeries, go on, they have a place in one Woodbrook place called Zazu. Zazu is expensive, it's a little French, it used to be a restaurant, I forget what they call it, now it's a smaller version of a restaurant. Go and taste the bread. Just taste the bread. And remember what bread's supposed to taste like. Remember when you, I don't know if you all had this experience. My mother used to bake bread Christmas time. My mother used to bake bread Christmas time, and when the bread come out and the ham come out and you get hot, fresh bread with some butter and some Christmas ham. Remember homemade bread? That taste, that rich density, but we can't get that from the Ibis and the Five Roses bullshit bleached flour that they sell in Trinidadians. I mean, at every turn, something that they put in out here for you is spoiled, is broken, is nasty, is decrepit. I remember Eddie Ayin, when he was the managing director of KFC, it was Kentucky Fried Chicken then, he told me, he said, Philip, we did a measurement on the pack with the thing that is put the fries in the pack, and we realized that they had an extra 1/4 inch, and we could have taken off that 1/4 inch and the thing would have still fit in the pack and put in the fries, but they would have put 2 fries less. And them 2 fries per pack translate to $25 million. Save 2 fries in an envelope, $25 million. That's the kind of business these businessmen on. These businessmen in Trinidad and Tobago, this year we did 144 million. How do we get to 145? How do we get to 150? How do we get to 200? The jackasses don't realize that they have a responsibility to the boat that they're on. They're not saying, how do we sustain? How do we sustain? No. They're like vultures. How do we eat more of the carcass? Because they're supposed to say, 145 million does us all well. How do we sustain that? How do we keep that going for the next 10 years and look at a growth curve then? What do we have to give back to our society? What do we have to give back to this country? What do we have to give back to the people that our profit margins stay this robust for the next 10 years? They don't have that as a business model. The Chamber of Commerce is not involved in that as a business model. The Chamber of Commerce is into profiteering, and as much as they could get, they take it. We have a country that is so broken, every aspect, every profession is plagued and poisoned by people driven by greed. Nothing works. Nothing works. I had a friend, Elise Moniz, and she was making mini arepas. She was calling pacadillos, something like that. Bacadillos. And she was making 5 different, one had meat, one had chicken, one had vegetables, one had saltfish, that was my favorite, and something else. And she couldn't make it fast enough. She couldn't get finance. Avrils, I brought up Avril. Avril making plantain chips, breadfruit chips, cassava chips, and sweet potato chips. All healthier for you than the bullshit Lokchak and Barbara Mute putting out in Sunshine Snacks and Universal Cereals. All of the crap that they sell out of Universal Sunshine Snacks is raw, is bulk corn. It's literally bulk corn that you soak with flavor. It's a flavor mix that you want it salty or you want it sweet. It's the same bulk corn that makes cornflakes, makes sugar pops, makes Sunshine Snacks corn curls. It's the same bulk corn, and the machine is called an extruder. You could extrude a Bigfoot, you could extrude a corn curl, you could extrude a cheesy, whatever you want. You could extrude a palm tree if you want. They will make an extruder head for you to force the corn through, and it come out in the shape of something. It fall in a fryer and it fry, and it come down on the other end, and you either salt it or you sugar it, and it fall in a box, and you call it Zoomers, Slammers, Bigfoot, corn curls, cheesies, corn curls, corn flakes. All of that bullshit that they sell, none of it is good for you. You're feeding your children hog food. That's hog food. No lie. With too much salt and too much sugar to fool them into thinking. And now, because it is so badly made, they've added MSG, monosodium glutamate, as an ingredient, which is an excitotoxin that gets your children high. It goes straight to their brain, and they sit down there eating cheesies and getting high and saying, mommy, I want more. Because you're feeding an addiction. You're not feeding nutrition to your children. They're eating nonsense. You're wasting your money buying brightly packaged, heavily marketed hog food. Hog food. And you could take your money and buy sweet potato fries, breadfruit chips, plantain chips, cassava chips at Avril's. I don't understand why Avril's is not the biggest brand in the country. When I go into the grocery, I have to buy the kurma, which is still a better product than anything Sunshine Snacks and Holiday Foods make it. I had to bend down and fight up between the Chinese plum and the tulum pawpaw balls. Still much denser, heavier, closer to the tree. Tulum is made of molasses and coconut, but it's coconut and it's real coconut. Pawpaw balls is made with pawpaw and sugar, but it's real pawpaw. And pawpaw papaya is good for you. It's good for you. There's anything orange or red, there's something in it called lycopene, and lycopene is good, especially for men. Especially for men. You eat as much red fruits and vegetables that you can put your hands on. Lycopene is excellent for maintaining prostate health. But you have to ask yourself, How is it possible I could live in a country where Sunshine Snacks could get finance to sell that hog food shit, and Avrils can't get money to sell breadfruit, cassava, plantain, and sweet potato chips? A better product, healthier for you and your children. They can't get the finance to mass produce. Sunshine Snacks selling hog food, good. Mario Sabga Abood selling bullshit. Pizza Boys, fried donuts, and Burger Boys, and burgers, and nasty food. I mean, the bread that they sell, when you go and you look at what they sell, you look at that patty. I'm going to do an experiment one of these days, you know. I'm going to take a Pizza Boys burger and show you. Nothing in the yard want to eat that. It's like Golden Ray margarine. People who put in that in their food, it's the same thing like MSG. It's like plastic. It's not real and it excites your brain. But mold don't grow on it. And anything that can't rot, can't digest, passing through you. You need to... Eating healthy is expensive. Keisha, that's not really true. Eating healthy is not expensive, but we're lazy. Go and buy fresh fruits and fresh vegetables from the farmer at the roadside stand. Let your grocery shopping experience be for a Saturday. Go all the way to Toko. Go all the way Eastern Main Road. Go Wallafield. When you go down San Fernando and you come off the beaten path, closer to the farmers, the price of everything gets cheaper and cheaper the further you get from Bright Society. The further you get from Bright Society developed, but we want to shop and buy our fruits and vegetables in Massy stores and True Value. So yes, it'll be expensive because there are 5 markups there. They have the farmer, they have the wholesaler, they have the distributor, they have Massy markup. Before it reach you, there are 5 markups. You could go straight to the farmer. They have roadside farmers selling. Roadside farmers, the best ingredient for flavor in your food is grated coconut. Grated coconut. We could use cold press oils. We have cold press oils in Trinidad and Tobago. We don't have to be using them. We're eating junk and we're getting sick and we're going in a health sector that's set up to fail and our people dying. Trinidad and Tobago have some of the highest instances. Black Trinidad and Tobago has the highest cases of heart disease, the highest statistics. Afro-Trinbagonians have the highest instances of heart disease in the Western world. We in Trinidad and Tobago, the black Trinbagonians especially, have the highest instances of heart disease higher than America, higher than Canada, higher than everybody in South America. Trinidad and Tobago, we eating crap. We eating nonsense. We're going in Starbucks and Rituals and buying nonsense. I mean, what they're selling you in that cup have to have so much. You know why you have to buy a mochaccino and a cappuccino and all them different things? They have to disguise the fact that the actual coffee has no taste. The people who live near the Hung Wing factory in Diamond Vale, let's tell you, when the Hung Wing roaster on, people is open their window just to smell Hung Wing coffee roasting. Why it is we are buying, I guess it's convenience. They have a Starbucks and a Rituals everywhere you turn. Maybe you have to go out of your way, but buy it home. So much of our time is wasted doing foolishness, liming and shit talking. Put a little more effort into what you put into your body. Just that. You will save so much money, and I tell you, I know, and it's an absolute fact. When they tell you, eat clean, we could eat clean in this country now for now. And if you are giving the farmer the business direct, you're giving the farmer profit and motivation and opportunity to develop and expand. What we focus on grows. It is an insult to our intelligence that Trinidad and Tobago is the highest consumer of KFC in the world. We should be ashamed of that fact. And to the people who have to play with the balls and line up in the line and laugh and say, well, that's who he is. Leave them in the line. They'll get heart attack and dead. Sensible people start to live sensibly. Make better choices. You're buying food that science can't explain. No nutrients whatsoever, and you're making 1%ers rich. Flip the script. Flip the script. You could eat better. You could live better the country could get better. We could change the way things are done in this country. And you know what? When you look at how high our mental illness is in this country, I am almost certain you could trace it, besides the high stress life that we live, you could trace it to the diet. Our food is crap. Check your breakfast, your lunch, and your dinner. I stopped drinking coffee a long time ago. I drink tea. No, that's my hot beverage, tea. And I don't use cow's milk, I use almond milk. Tea with almond milk, that's nutrient dense. That's nutrient dense. Morbi, the only, my biggest addiction now is LLB. But Morbi and soda water was my soft drink. It's time that we take responsibility for all of these things. And you know it, you know. You know it already. That's why it makes sense when you hear it. You know it already. But imagine if you vote a government into power that the basics, that the government who is responsible for the basics took care of the basics. I want to tell you, we have a plan to remove the failed local government, municipal corporation, city corporation system and replace them with something called a constituency board of supervisors. Every constituency would have its own supervisor of education, supervisor of healthcare, supervisor of public works, supervisor of public security, public utilities, and security. Those 5 people together with your member of parliament would be like a mini cabinet responsible for the quality of life in your constituency. You and your people could organize cottage meetings, walkabouts, petitions, fire the education supervisor because our education level is lower than the national average. Because you'd be able to track. Because the PEP will be removing the SEA and will be making all schools prestige schools. All children will get a GPA. So every class and every school and every constituency will have an average. What the children doing? So you will know if your constituency is up to par, higher than par, or below par. You would know, so you could go and they would have to have town hall meetings. And you would go to the town hall meetings and you would ask, because the 5 of them would be on the table once a quarter. You could say in that town hall meeting, Mr. Gentleman, Mr. Supervisor of Public Works, I live in 3rd Street, and we have a set of potholes and I wrote you twice. Could you tell me what is going on? Or do I have to organize a petition to have you removed from office? You'll say, no, we were waiting on the material getting dropped in the trace this week, and you can see it, and then they come in and fix your potholes. It is representation at the level where the people could interact with those responsible for them. We live in a country right now where ministers are nothing but placeholders, high salary drawing, cabinet agreeing fools, stunt artists. This knowledge, this information that you have is for you to go to tell one to the other that it is easy to fix this country. We could fix education, fix healthcare, fix the economy. We could have Trinidad bubbling, money flowing, more jobs than people. We could make it possible for everybody to own a home. We have 4 stunting banks in the country. Why we don't have 40? Why we don't open the banks, the banking sector to international competition? Why don't we regulate the banks? Why don't we say fees and interest rates set by central bank determined by the cabinet? So that the country is represented by the people that you vote into office and they do the job. They do the job that you send them there to do. You could have this country run knowing that the collective in Trinidad and Tobago want secured borders. We want incentivized and motivated police officers that take care of the nation. When you have a supervisor of security in your constituency, all of the police stations and police posts in that constituency come under that person. And you can meet the sergeant and inspector in your constituency because they have to have town hall meetings too. And they have to give you their cell phone number, their work cell phone number, and you give them yours. So when you call and he see Mr. James from 3rd Street, you link up the country where the people and those paid to secure the people are in quick touch with each other. Criminals can't get away. They can't come and establish themselves strongholds in the country. When you have a nation where all the communities are owned by the people who live in the houses, gang house and drug house can't set up. People calling the inspector on the phone, hey, yes, you are going on the corner of my street. It is a dot. It's a dot. This country is a dot. It is a rock in the sea. This country is so easy to run. It's so easy to operate. They could do what they want with Petrotrin. We could turn it around. We could turn it around. You could have a country that is making profit, that is providing real representation to all the people. You could have that. Why don't we want that? What does it take to get us to say, you know what? I don't care about nobody else. Starting today, I'm making better choices with my labor, my consumption, and my vote. Where I work, who gets my hard-earned money, and who gets my important vote are critical to me. Those three things have the largest impact on the quality of my life. And starting today, I pledge that not only will I make better choices, I am going to get involved. I am going to join the Neighborhood Watch. I am going to join the Consumer Society. I'm going to join the Progressive Empowerment Party and add my voice to that. And I'm going to make sure that whoever gets into public office represents the interests that are dear to me. And I will make sure that this country works well. And we could get there. Put aside all of the nonsense. Hey, and the reason I give you all of this knowledge is because the person who sits in the Prime Minister office knows how to be me. It could be somebody bigger, better, brighter than me. As long as you know what you are entitled to, as long as you know that the well-being of every citizen is the reason that the government have a job, as long as you know that well, whoever it is have that job will have to serve. Trinidadians need to ignore the bullshit and start taking their democracy seriously. If you don't like how the country is being run, go down to the parliament and tell them so. Go and tell them, one stand up when they walk in, say, Mr. Fitzgerald Hines, I don't like this. Mr. Coleman, I don't like this. They must get accustomed. The police service job is not to protect the government from the people, you know. Don't let them fool you with that bullshit, you know. The police service job is to keep the peace. Not separate you from the people that you want to say, I pay you. Collectively, we pay you. It is time that we take this knowledge and use it to our betterment. It is way past time. There may come a day when the country is so properly run, where healthcare is professional and treats all of our people with dignity and respect, where education offers first world prestige education to all of our children, where the elders and the children can live and play in peace and safety, where home ownership is a reality to anybody who has a job, where jobs are available to anybody who wants one, where the farmers and the teachers are treated with the respect and the dignity they deserve, and the price of food is brought down so that essential foreign exchange is used for other things, but that the main staple diet of the people of Trinidad and Tobago is grown and processed right here, putting our people to work. If we ever wanted a better country, seriously, we could make that decision now. Everything that we have as a nation is part of a collective decision we all took. We may not be aware, but we are responsible. If this is as a result of choices that we are making, imagine what would happen if we made different choices. Imagine the Progressive Empowerment Party in 4 weeks' time is going to be opening and launching its South office. 4 weeks after that, we'll be launching our East office. 4 weeks after that, we'll be launching our North office. Anyone that has a small office space that they would like to make available to the Progressive Empowerment Party at a peppercorn rent or free, because we have no money and we want no deep pocket finances, we are looking for 2 more offices, Central Trinidad and Tobago. And if you could assist us with an office in Central Trinidad and Tobago, please reach out to me, reach out to Felicia Holder, reach out to Misty Otamde, Shari Wilson, Satish Ramsaran, reach out to any of the other members that you see on the thread, Maya Khan, Kenneth Luke, reach out to any of the senior members. You could send a message to anybody, Dave Lux, Daniel Jackson, Jack Claude, you all know it by now. You all know, look, Lorena on the thread. Reach out to anybody and the information will get to us. If you have a small office space and you would like to help, again, save us from all the hard work raising funds and throwing barbecue and all this stuff, that we need help. If you could commit to $25 a month, that's nothing money. If you could commit to $100 a month and say, you know what, I will support this party and see where it could go, and I'm willing to invest $100 a month. If I could invest $500 a month, if I could invest $1,000 a month, because the more that you put is the bigger the party will grow. We will start to do more live broadcasts on TV. You saw the impact 23 minutes with Fazir Muhammad had. Once the country hears the message, it spreads like an infection of hope. The people wake up and they start to cheer again. They start to say, yes, this could happen. Yes, we could fix it. Yes, we could have a proper country. Yes, I could relax and grow old in my land. Yes, I could come back home. Yes, I could raise my children here. Yes, I could spend the rest of my life in a properly functioning country. First world developed paradise on earth convincingly. You can have that. Help us. Get on board. Come and work with us. Volunteer. Or become a financial contributor, a financial member. $25 a month. $20 a month. Whatever you could afford. Reach out to Felicia Holler. Reach out to Satish Ramsaran. Reach out to Richard Blaze. Reach out to Kenneth Lou. Diane McIver just came on the trend. We have members, Jenny C. Paul, Gayadib. You know them. You see them. Look for the members with the pep frames. Talk to them. Get the message to us. We need your assistance, we need your help. A PayPal, we have bank accounts now, we're setting up a merchant account. If you want a better country, you have to help us build it. You have to come and get involved and be a part of it. Come and help us make the Trinidad and Tobago we always knew, we always needed. Come and be a part of it, yes? Thank all of you who were there today for the first time. Our Saturday meeting literally spilled out into the yard, and it was beautiful having that meeting open here under the mango tree. Looking forward to it growing from strength to strength. When we open the South office, then the East office, then the North office, then the Central office, then Tobago office, what will happen is these Saturday meetings, every Saturday, will be in a different section of Trinidad and Tobago. This Saturday in the East, this Saturday in the North, this Saturday in the South, this Saturday in Tobago, so that everybody will get a chance to come and be a part of their Progressive Empowerment Party. You want a better country? Get involved, get on board, start helping. Looking forward to seeing all of you soon. Thank all of you again and all of the members who work so hard to build this party. Stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.